sacred earth. Hold me now. I am safe. I am here. Grounded strong. Nothing to fear. I am rooted. I belong. I am steady. I am strong. I am safe. I am here. Desire appears. I do not disappear. I feel the pull move through my field. A signal rising and changing form. It asks for meaning, it asks for story. It has to be named as who I am. But I remain seated in awareness. I watch sensation come and go. I notice movement without attachment. I let it pass without a roll. I do not chase. I do not resist. I let desire reveal itself and release. Desire is not identity, it visits but it does not stay. It moves through awareness freely, then dissolves along the way. Desire is not identity, it rises but it does not lead. I remain the one who witnesses, not the impulse acting to be me. Not the impulse asking to be me. I see how wanting shapes the world, how images invite the self to bend, how the mind tries to follow feeling and call the motion who I am. But I stay present in my center. I let sensations speak and fade. I keep awareness unentangled. I do not trade my seat for need. I do not chase. I do not resist. I let desire reveal itself and release. Desire is not identity, it visits but it does not stay. It moves through awareness freely, then dissolves along the way. Desire is not identity, it rises but it does not lead. I remain the one who witnesses, not the impulse asking to be me. Desire moves. Awareness remains. The chain breaks. When I stop calling movement my name. Regina noctis sub lunata eu in trivius times hostem desinum nomen vinci as your blue begins to stay, I surrender
to the ancestors, known and unknown, Shay. To the gods, known and unknown, Shay. All the praise, all the glory be to the Most High. What's going on, guys? It's your favorite Cosmic Warrior, back at you with another Galactic Transmission. Right off the back, picking up the energy of a secret society. Catching some karmic lessons. You know, but it's... You know, secret societies, you know, cults, you know, but by definition, what is it? You know, they're gatekeepers. You know, they guard knowledge as if it's theirs to guard. You know, as if it, you know, if I withheld this from everyone else, which knowledge that everyone should have, once I've figured this out for myself, I'm gonna use this knowledge, this deeper knowledge that I've had of myself. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna use it as leverage for my greatest good. Selfish fucks. That's what it is. Selfish fucks. It's okay. You will be allowed to achieve, you know, certain things for yourself, especially when you're making deals with things that you shouldn't be working with anyways. Right? Of course, it's gonna appear that you're gonna benefit in the 3D, but you know, but that's the mistake. Is people mistake, you know, progress in the 3D as if it's something to celebrate. And it's like, congratulations, Buttercup. You did something in the 3D. What can you do in the 5D? Oh, nothing? Oh, useless. You know what's funny about that? You know, as I just got up to blow my nose, right? You know what I was thinking about? It's like, I glanced at this card before I got up. You know, they thought that you needed them, right? But then I was also seeing in my mind's eye, it was predictions, right? And when I went to go blow my nose, it's like, you know, I split second in my mind, it's like, oh, you just walked away from the reading. It's like, no, I paused it. The message doesn't change just because my nose was running. I was getting clogged up. I did what I had to do. The message didn't change because because I paused and walked away. But that's what the message is too. It's like what I saw in my mind's eye was predictions, right? It's made a prediction. It's like they got the impression that if over time, it's like your predictions wouldn't weather the storm of time, you know. But that's a true test: is can it weather the sands of time, you know? Because a lot happens in time, you know. But time is a funny thing. Time only exists here, you know. Time only exists here. But even in there, it doesn't even exist. It only exists if we allow it to. But it's like the predictions, the chaos. It's like the predictions that you made. The predictions that you made, they thought that, you know, but sometimes we put a pause on things. I didn't walk away from it. My attention got drawn somewhere else. You know what I mean? But that's interesting too. It's learning. It's learning when to put a pause on certain things. It's when you're following the flow. It's like sometimes, you could get started over here, and it's like, all right, I'm just starting to get a flow established. I'm just starting to get going, and then you're going to be, guided somewhere else. And it's like sometimes it's like, I just got here. It's like I'm just getting the hang of this. I just got, what the fuck? Like, are you sure? Are you sure that's what you want me to do? You know what I mean? But it's not, sometimes it's just a pause. Sometimes it's, we already gained what we had to gain. Sometimes it's, we were only in there to dip our toes in to gain a lesson. Hey, we learned it really quick, so now it's on to the next. We weren't meant to be there permanently. But that's where your intuition, your discernment, that's where, those gifts, we have to hone in on them. But it's, it's like if we create enough chaos for you, you won't be able to find the calm in the storm. You won't be able to find peace. You won't be able to, see through the bullshit pretty much. But what's the bullshit? It's the chaos of everything. It's the naysayers. It's the people that could never understand or never want to understand your point of view, your visions, your path. It's so much all combined into one. But it's all the different battles. It's the combination. That's the entire war, But it's spiritual warfare. It's the entire war. But it's the war fronts that we face. The lack of funding. But it's a mentality. It's poverty it's a mentality. You know what I mean? Mentalities are everything. Your mind's a battlefield. If you're not a commander, your mind, you've already lost. Because there's so many battles, and a lot of them, it starts with your mind. Because if you can't get over those ones, you're not going to get over the physical ones. Because those are, you have to be a commander of your mind to get over the physical battles. But the spiritual warfare it's everything. It's mental, it's physical, it's spiritual. It's so much. It's a combination. But it's. But it's, sometimes when you become aware of the battles, for instance, like you become aware of, the spiritual battle as far as the food goes, and there's the fluoride in the water, calcifies our first eye. You know what I mean? When you become aware of all this stuff, we try to make conscious and better and healthier choices for us. It's healthier for us physically, but taking care of ourselves physically, taking care of our vessel is also taking care of us spiritually. It's people are confused why they can't have a connection with the Most High, but it's like your temple is not worthy. You don't treat your temple worthy. Why would you? Of course but it's sometimes we feel like we don't have enough. We feel limited on funds because it's expensive. First off, you have to search out and fight to find things that are actually good for you, because pretty much everything out in your face is harmful for you. So first you have to put in the footwork, and you got to be able to locate it. And then a lot of times it's, it's picking and choosing. It's, wants and needs. We got to decide wants and needs. A lot of us think we have, a lot of us mislabel our wants as needs. But it's, conscious choices, and, but celebrating the little victories. It's, in the grocery store when you make the conscious decision to put down, your favorite snack because it's not good for you. That's a victory. That's a win. It's the little things, but it's the combination of the little things all together that it makes way more of an impact than we realize. It's the combination of all of them until we realize, and it's like, who the fuck even am I? I don't know. I'm looking the best I am. I'm thinking the most clear I am. It's just but it's reconnecting with ourselves, but reconnecting with ourselves is also reconnecting with the Most High. Which, it's funny. Everything tells you that you need something. You need someone else, to connect you with the Most High, as if we're not worthy enough as we are. It's funny. People recite the words "come as you are," but yet still not see themselves worthy enough. And it's always a us thing. It's the way that we perceive ourselves. It's the way that we perceive others. It's the way that we perceive in general. Perceptions. But it's a double-edged sword too, though. being able to see the best in everyone. Just because you can see the best in everyone doesn't mean that they're going to choose the best for themselves. But that's disheartening. It's hard. It's hard to watch people that you care about, shoot themselves in the foot over and over and over. But at some point, it's like, damn, how can you not see you're doing it to yourself? At this point, you're just an attention-seeking whore. At this point, it's just fucking, I have no more sympathy. My sympathy gauge it's empty, But it's not because it's because I stopped putting into it, but what are you putting into it? All you doing, taking, sympathy, playing that sympathy card. Well, do not pass go. Do not collect any more sympathy cards. I don't know.
I planted deep roots in the unseen, power that I keep. No begging, no maybe, no hope someday. I declare my world in the here, not away. I don't wish, I decree. The vision's already free. When my voice hits the air, the universe pulls up a
When I speak, the universe pulls up a chair. Well, the universe is always listening. Always. The universe is always pulling up a chair. But what are they pulling up a chair to? Is it the shit show? Or is this where it starts to get good? It's by your definition. It's by our definition. What are we in? What season are we in? Well, we're always in a learning season. It's always a learning season. Always. Always a learning season. But it's cleansing. At every stage, right? It's new levels, new devils. But it's new versions of ourselves. It's new ways to go about ourselves, right? Our mentality, our programming, new ways to look at ourselves. Past, present, future, all at once, right? But at the spiritual bath is, it's the cleansing through it, right? It's you run a virus check or whatever, right? With the new program that we got, the update that we just got, right? We take that and when we go through and we fact checked everything. Now with the new understanding, the new perspective, the new angle of looking at things, we go back and we look at it and we reevaluate ourselves and we see what still stands true and what's kind of like, okay, well, I stood firm on that then. But now I'm kind of questioning it. Now with this new knowledge, now with this new understanding, now I kind of looking at it a little differently. So this I'm not sure about. This one I'm not going to label it yet. I'm still not sure about it. I'm still going to meditate on it. So I'm gonna put that on the shelf and not label it. I'm going to come back to that one. But then it's other things that it stood true. It passed the sands of time. It passed the test of time. It remains just as true now as it did then. And now the only difference is it stands even more true. It's like Roman concrete. It gets stronger over time, right? It's like because it's past the test. So now it's no longer a belief. It's a knowing. You only believe in what you do not know. But after it's passed vigorously through the sands of time, and you know it to be true. You know it to be true. Fuck everyone else's beliefs. It's what's a belief? You don't know it. You can't stand on it like I stand on my knowing because you're standing on beliefs. Beliefs is you're standing on sand. Sand can get washed away. It's knowings. It's the knowings that we stand on. It's the knowings that we choose to stand on. People that cannot see, they're going to question it. But just because they can't see it doesn't make it any less true. But we allow them to get in our mind and question it and second guess it. But second guessing is a lot of times going against our gut instincts. And when we're doing that, we're going against our intuition.
Ooh. Thought becomes sound. Sound becomes form. I choose my life. I choose reborn. Oh.
Choosing to be reborn. Choosing to release. Choosing to release the things that weren't ours to carry anyways. Other people's judgment, false judgment. You know, but everyone, just like opinions, everyone's entitled to it, right? But just your judgment doesn't have to stick to me. Only if I allow it to. You know, it's, you know, but casting pearls to swine. But it's like, when you know you're right, you know, people will stand extremely firm on their beliefs. Because why? Because everyone around them, you know, supports the same false belief. Just because every motherfucker around them still supports a false belief doesn't make it any less false. It's fucking false. Fuck your beliefs. You know, but people, even when people see it, they'll still deny it. Because everyone else, you know what I mean? Everyone else is still embedded with the false programming. And even when people will be slapping people in their face, and still they'll let the others corrupt, even when they can still see it, the corrupt programming. It's the people around us, it's society. It doesn't make it any less false. You know, you have the eyes to see, you have the ears to see, to hear. It's your choice. Are you gonna fucking use them or not? You have the ears to hear, you know, other people's projections, other people's lack of. You know, their lack of being willing to see the truth. The truth is so much in our face right now, it's people have to be so fucking ignorant, you're choosing not to see it. Or you're just a fucking fool NPC. You're blind. There's so much truth in our face, bro. I didn't hear nothing, I don't see nothing. You're making the conscious fucking choice. You know, the conscious choices that we make not to shift. Why? Because we get comfortable. Because it's uncomfortable going against the grain. It's uncomfortable standing up for what's right when you're standing up against everyone and everything. It's really uncomfortable. But you know what's even more uncomfortable? When you refuse to do that. Because when you're refusing to do that, you're refusing to take your position. You're refusing to accept your anointing. You know, many are called, few are chosen. But it's, you know, it's... You know, people get too consumed with the 3D, and they think that, you know, it's... I taught my kids how to listen well and how to study propaganda and recite the propaganda perfectly. They get all A's. They're well versed in propaganda. That's what I see. That's what I hear. But at what cost? Where are they spiritually? Completely cut the fuck off. Have you done your children any justice? You know, the best way it's the work that we do on ourselves, for ourselves, yes, but not just for ourselves. It's for those around us that we supposedly care about. If we actually fucking cared about them, we would do the work on ourselves instead of just putting more fucking layers over ourselves.
Right before my eyes, I'm aligned, I'm responding, I'm receiving more and more. Abundant, rising in my life. Higher than before. Abundant, every breath, every thought puts me deeper in my flow. Abundant, I'm a magnet for abundance everywhere I go. I am whole, I am worthy, I am open, I am ready. Money flows to me with ease. Everything I want, I receive. I am guided, I am free. Abundance lives inside of me. Whoa. Mindset gold, yeah, I shine when I speak.
You know, mindset gold. You know, but it's... It's true alchemy is turning, it's turning metal into gold. It's transmuting the negative into positive. It's turning, what coulda, shoulda, but didn't break you into something that reinforced you. But it's when we're at our most alone, when we realize that we've never been alone. But it's only when we feel like we have nothing that we realize that we find that we have everything. We've always had everything. But it's the lies that we tell ourselves, the constant lies. But it's the lies that are embedded into us. It's the lies that have been passed down from generation to generation to generation. Unworthiness. Lack of divinity. Lack of sight to see our own divinity.
Rising my true flow. My inner field opens with every breath I choose. I feel new space awakening within me. Old patterns ripped from my center with ease. Every step moves me deeper into balance. Every moment expands my field of truth. I feel my energy brighter. I feel my rhythm alive. I feel creation moving through me now. I release all the weight in my field. I release all the blocks that were sealed. I release all that no longer lives me. I transmute it to pure golden energy. I release all the weight in my field. I release all the blocks.
Releasing all the weight. Spiritual awakening. Justice is served. Lack of funding. It's releasing it. It's releasing everything that's not yours. Releasing everything that was never yours to carry to begin with. Releasing all the baggage that we picked up along the way. And releasing all the weight, known and unknown. Take it fucking all. Why would I want any of it? I don't. I want none of it. Take that. It's not even, it's speaking into existence. Giving thanks for it already has happened. Because I never wanted it to begin with. I didn't realize I had a choice. I had an option to choose? Fuck, I don't want to take it. If I wish I knew I had this option a long time ago. Who the fuck lied to me this whole time?
Pure golden energy. I release all the weight in my field. I release all the blocks that were sealed. I release all that no longer lives me. I transmute to pure golden energy.
But it really is. It really is. It's the release, though. You can feel it, though. Energetically, you can feel it. It's like when you get that final release, you know it's that release. You feel it. You know it. And it's not a lot of times we deceive ourselves and we believe that we released. But it's only a belief. You'll know when you finally released it. Yeah, it's no longer a belief. It's a knowing. You know it. It's the freedom that you feel. It's just the release. You know it to be true. But it's finally, because how many times did we think that we released it, and then all of a sudden, knock, 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 here it is again.
If only you knew who you could be. Welcome home, child of light. We used to bend, we used to fold. Try 15 when we sold to bold. Shrink the voice, hide the flame. Chasing mirrors, losing aim. Every smile felt like disguise. Little lies, Now me and my spirit call. Welcome home. No more pretending. The mouth dropping,
You know,
soul ascending. No more
but it's the return home. It's coming back into knowings of yourself, is coming back into remembrance of who you are. It's like coming back to home, to your soul. It's coming back to you, and it's why it feels like home. You know what I mean? But home, what is home? It's not a physical place. It's an internal place. Heaven, hell, those are internal places. It's all an internal thing. It's an energetic thing. But it's that it's a sense of comfort. It's like a warm campfire. It's a sense of home and comfort and warmth of coming back to knowings of yourself. It's hard to fucking describe. But it's knowings. It's internal knowings. It's beliefs are external beliefs. Knowings are internal, where it's like it's I can explain a cut. Look, you know what I mean. But how do you describe the internal things? It's hard to. But what's interesting too is, we grew up watching like Star Wars and shit, and Jedis and Jedi Masters, and little do we know, a lot of us are masters. We're masters, and in the same senses, just unknowingly, But it's all hidden in the movies. So but it's all, just lack of understandings. But it's what are the NPCs? The fucking the drones, the bots, and it's, what I mean? It's like, these are not the droids you're looking for. Easily manipulated, easily just, they follow all the hypnotic, they just follow along, they're little sheep, you know what I mean? But then you see other scenes too, and it's, like when they're gathering all the children, and they get rid of the children, and what was that? It was getting rid of the gifted ones. You know what I mean? There's the symbology everywhere, but it's like, and then energetic work, it's talking about the force, and it's like the chi, the fire, it's described in so many different cultures, but it's all the same, describing the same shit, but it's hard to describe that, but little do we know, we grew up watching these things, describing the unknown, but it's like, when you start finally sensing it, and actually well, that's what it is, it's sensing it, but it's coming more in tune with ourselves. Which is, completely, I'm flying blind, it's not something the Western culture teaches anything about. Everything in the Western, if you're able to free yourself in the Western culture right now, you're clearly a fucking master, because everything's fighting against you. Absolutely fucking everything. There's no knowledge, nothing is spoken about it, in any aspect of it.
I follow my heart, I know my way. I walk this path, day by day. I am in my power.
Standing in our power, little steppers, big talkers. That's the energy of, they talk a big game, but they can't deliver. But standing in my power, what is it? It's a journey. It's a constant journey. It's a day-by-day journey. It's a day-by-day. It's a battle this minute. It's a battle the next hour. It's a battle. This battle could last over. Now, who knows? It's a combination. The people don't know the battles we're going through. They don't know the constant steps that we're taking forward, the constant steps that we're pushing forward against our battles. They don't know. They don't, just because they can't see it doesn't mean I'm not going through it. Just because I'm progressing forward doesn't mean you don't see the force working against me. But I'm still persevering through it. I'm still pushing through it. Where it would be real easy to get pushed back instead of standing your ground. But people will look at it and they can't see the pressure against us. I think you got it easy. Foolish mistake.
Is already home. I am in my power.
free from all the shadows have been told. But government employee, that's a light worker card. Interesting too. But when you recognize your position of as a government employee, an employee for the Most High, a soldier in the Most High's army, right? And what is that? That's accepting your divinity. It's like your mission, right? Your soul's mission, right? Because a lot of times, we don't know what our soul's mission is. So what do? We fixate on, 3D objectives, right? But then once we start coming back into remembrance and knowings of ourselves, and we start stepping into our divinity, we start stepping into our purpose, our soul's purpose, right? Which a lot of times can be aligned with, our things of the 3D that we're also good at, right? But it could be a merging of them. But a lot of times it's completely different. It's completely separate. But it could be the complete opposite direction we've ever found. But that's from an external place. But internally, we could feel like we're heading the closer that we've ever known to ourselves. It's hard to fucking describe. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm not describing it right, but I don't know how to fucking describe it. So it's but it's breaking free. But a lot of times, I describe like, midlife crisis as what if it's our last hoorah from our soul trying to escape? It's something, everything in our soul trying to rip free, trying to break us free. It's like, come on, we're fucking dying in here. Would you fucking let us out? That's how I observe it. But it really is. It's freeing. It's relieving. It's so much all wrapped up into one. It's all hard as fuck to describe.
Not the silence, not the war. I'm not the night they couldn't see. I'm the best me rising free.
The night that they couldn't see. The night that they couldn't see. You know what it's giving? It's like, it's trying to look for the stars when you're in the city. You're going to see a couple of them. But, you go out to the woods, you go out away from the city, you go away from the pollution of lights, you go pollution of man, and you go out in nature and you look up, and what do you see? It's a whole new world. If you've never been out of the city, now a lot of people never venture out, They venture out where? They never venture out far from their homes, from their home cities. They never venture out far away from the programming that was instilled to them as children. They don't venture out. They don't explore. They don't explore their mind. They don't explore this wonderful world. They just don't explore.
I plant the truth and grow within. I'm not what happened to me. I'm what I choose to be. Each breath I take, I shift, I rise. The story ends, the soul flies. I'm not what happened. Hey. Used to hide my face from the sun. Thought the world didn't want what I become. Heard too many whispers, saw too many eyes. Built a shame inside that was made of lies. Try to smooth the edges, try to lighten the shade. Try to trade the history that the creator made. But the mirror finally spoke the truth. Chased away the blindness of my youth. Oh, I'm finally seeing what I've always been. Copper and gold on my skin. This is the color of the earth I stand on. The color of the sunrise at dawn. I got the blood of the ancients. I got the spirit deep and wide. I'm reconnecting to the love I used to hide. No more running, no more changing. This is me, native and beautiful, finally free. Oh. The elder's voice is calling, sounds like a steady drum, telling me the language that my grandmother used to hum. They tried to steal the words, they tried to break the song, but the teachings are powerful, they've been waiting all along. Unpacking the regalia, pulling out the sacred bead, planting a strong seed where shame used to feed. Oh, I'm finally seeing what I've always been. Copper and gold on my skin. This is the color of the earth I stand on. The color of the sunrise at dawn. I got the blood of the ancients. I got the spirit deep and wide. I'm reconnecting to the love I used to hide. No more running, no more changing. This is me, native and beautiful, finally free. Oh. I found my medicine. I found my way back home. Now I walk with a purpose, and I'm not walking alone. Every drum beat says you belong. Every cedar smell makes me strong. Learning to love the culture, learning to love the name. Washing away the ashes of the colonial flame. Oh, I'm finally seeing what I've always been. Copper and gold on my skin. This is the color of the earth I stand on. The color of the sunrise at dawn. I got the blood of the ancients. I got the spirit deep and wide. I'm reconnecting to the love I used to hide. No more running, no more changing. This is me, native and beautiful, finally free. Oh.
You know, you know what I'm getting with that line too? It's like, you know, what does Atmosphere say? It's like, I wear my scars like the rings on a pimp. I live my life like the captain of a sinking ship. But then I'm also getting Jack Sparrow as he's on the captain of a sinking ship, as he's pulling up to the dock and he's standing on the top of the peak of the watch crow's nest or whatever, as he steps onto and his whole boat sinks in. But it's like, you know, how we perceive things. It's, you know what I mean? It's, you know, slum lord, but it's like they wanted you, you know, to be down in the slums, and it's like, no, but it's like, no, it is I, Lord of the slum. You know what I mean? But it's almost that playful, you know, well, just as Yeshua said, you know what I mean? We're supposed to be like children, but it also just like, you know, oh fuck, what was that movie? Neverland, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it should be a child at heart. You know, but it's making the best of the situations. And it's like, okay, I can sit here and be depressed in the situation that I'm in, or I can at least have some fun and throw some shit around while I'm here. You know what I mean? I don't know. It is what you make of it, right?
In the dark, lit my own flame and called it the start. The story's not me, the wound isn't mine. I'm not the shadow, I'm light by design. I set me free from chains unseen, not for them before. set me free. I walk through the fire. I'm feeling on the other side. There's no them, only me. Remembering who I've always been.
You know,
I set me free.
thinking you're an easy target, but with that walking through the fire, you know what I mean? But it's interesting too. I'm getting, Daniel and the lion, or not in the lion's den. It's what was that? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the furnace when they get thrown in the furnace. And then, but what happens? They multiply. It appears. The angel appears, right? But it's interesting too. It's what was I just saying earlier? It's it's when what we may feel like we're most alone is when we realize that we've never been alone. You know what I mean? And it's, thought you were an easy target. Spiritual ass whooping. Respecting your elders. Unloyal fucking hoes. That's interesting too. They're getting justice all right. Not the justice they wanted, but the justice they deserve. It's interesting too, but what was the justice they wanted? They wanted rewards for their fuckery. Oh, they're getting rewarded for their fuckery. It's just not the reward they were expecting. Well, sounds like a personal problem to me.
Every move divine. If it don't align, then it's wasting my time. I'm in my lane, no room for distractions. Only keeping what adds to my satisfaction. I'm focused, I'm thriving, I'm on a new wave. 2025 is the vibe I crave. Does it help me grow? Does it help me shine? Does it keep my energy moving in line? If it don't, then it's a no from me. I'm protecting my glow and my peace, you see. Grow, glow, flow, that's the vibe. If it don't match that, it don't get my time. Grow, glow, flow, baby, that's the code. 2025, yeah, I'm sticking to my mode. Roll and blow, that's the vibe. If it don't match that, it don't get my time. Grow, glow, flow, baby, that's the code. 2025, yeah, I'm sticking to my mode. Cutting off the drama, yeah, I'm moving light. If it doesn't lift me, then it's out of sight. I've got big plans, I'm chasing the dream. If it don't help the hustle, then it's off the team. I'm radiating, yeah, I'm shining from within. My circle's getting smaller, but the love is genuine. No room for the fake, I'm letting it go. Grow, glow, flow, yeah, that's all I know. Does it help me grow? Does it help me shine? Does it keep my energy moving in line? If it don't, then it's a no from me. I'm protecting my glow and my peace, you see. Grow, glow, flow, that's the vibe. If it don't match that, it don't get my time. Grow, glow, flow, baby, that's the code. 2025, yeah, I'm sticking to my mode. If it don't help me grow, that's the vibe. If it don't match that, it don't get my time. Grow, glow, flow, baby, that's the code. 2025, yeah, I'm sticking to my mode. No distractions, no delays. Focused on the path, I'm paving new ways. Anything that don't lift me higher is gone. If it don't help me grow, I'm moving on. If it don't help me grow, I don't need it. If it don't help me glow, I don't see it. If it don't help me flow, let it go.
If it doesn't help me grow, I let it go. But okay, so, what's interesting too, just like with all my reads, if you look at the reads that I'm posting from like last year, the big difference is last year I focused more on the 3D. A big difference is now I try to fixate and focus more on just the 5D. There's always different aspects of the reading we can look at. Right, but the most growth, the most beneficial is to not to fixate on the 3D, to be aware of the 3D, but to fixate on the lesson of the 5D. That's why I do my readings the way I do it, because it's not what people want, but giving people what they would want like that would be feeding your want of the flesh. But that's not true growth. That's not going to help you. It'll bring your awareness to it. Cool, great. But I'd rather help you grow. I'd rather help you to bring awareness to the 5D, to the higher perspective, the higher angle of it. Because that's where the deeper level is. That's where the deeper level of growth is. It's not surface level. I don't work well on surface level shit anyways. So, but it's interesting too, getting rid of the stuff that doesn't help us grow. It's because we learn from our mistakes. And it's, we learned that it's not to say we stop caring about people less, but if you're not working on yourself and you're not trying to grow and try to expand your consciousness and better yourself, we're not, even if we're not heading in the wrong direction, you're staying right there. I'm moving, but you're staying right there and you don't want to. You don't want to move, which is, fine. Not everyone's gonna want it, which is why, you think it hurts my feelings, when people my readings don't align with them. It's like, no, they weren't ready. I have zero interest with just collecting likes. I have interest with helping people to grow, expand their consciousness. That's what I fucking care about. And but that's why, you look at the rating. You look at the ratings though, and when I focus more on the 3D, you'll get more views. Because that's how the algorithm's going to push it. Because you're feeding on people's emotions, their fear, their this, their that, their anger. It's pressing on people's emotions, opposed to doing this. The way I'm doing it as more of a 5D read. It doesn't get it's not the same. It's completely different. It's the same cards. It's the same energy. It's just the way that I choose to break it down is completely different. It's because that's how I choose to do it. That's how I see the best help. Anyone can do surface level shit. So hey, that shit's for the birds. If that's what you want to do with surface level shit, by all means, go ahead. First off, I'm not in a competition with anyone, myself. But then it's, I have no interest in just helping people out on surface level. I want to help you out on a deeper level. What's interesting too? Sometimes I get messages for myself, but I also know the messages are for myself most of the time it's for people in the future, because most people aren't on the same level I'm on right now, which we're all on different levels. It's not like it's a competition anyways, right? That's why, it's, sometimes I don't put stuff out because I feel like I haven't broken it down enough, because I don't know, I don't fully understand situations myself, but that's me being a hindrance on myself, because I'm meant to give it out there and break it down. But in some sense, I know that it's because if you've been following me for a while, you'll be able to see how, for most part, most of my beliefs have stood the same. But I'm willing to question. I'm always questioning myself. Not willing to. I'm always questioning myself. So I'm always questioning my beliefs, because my beliefs, they're not formed off other people's shit. You know what I mean? They're formed off of my trials and my errors and what I've digested, and it's just how I see it through my lens. I learned to not look at things through other people's lenses because, distorted. But I learned not to look through these eyes in general, though. We look through these eyes, but when we're digesting, we digest internally, right? But, as we shift, as I expand my consciousness, as I go back and I look at things, as I go back and I see a combination of cards that play out the same, but the way that I digest it is different. The way that I relay it is different. It's because my consciousness shifts. But it's people I'm picking up the energy of people that just, They never expected you to be able to shift your mind. Never expected you to be able to. Well, it's drastic shifts. You know what I mean? It's going against everything you've ever been taught. It's going against every system that's up in place. But it's the most that we go against them. It's what? It's standing in our power. It's standing in our truths. It's standing in our divinity. It's standing in what we know to be right. But it's interesting too, when we stand in what we know to be right, what we feel to be right, it can still feel really fucking awkward, really fucking uncomfortable. But a lot of times that's how you know you're doing the right thing, because it's fucking awkward. It's uncomfortable. You're the only one doing it. But are you gonna remain loyal to yourself? Are you gonna remain loyal to what you know? Are you gonna be loyal to what the Most High has revealed to you? Are you gonna remain loyal to yourself? Or are you going to betray yourself? And for who? And for what?
Who I am, I speak from the core, not the crowd. I rise with thunder, not applause. I'm not here to try, I'm not here to please. I'm here to command frequency with ease. I don't ask, I command, not by wish, by demand. I don't knock, I expand, I don't wait, I land. I don't
there's so many different ways that we can stop asking and we can start taking command. Some of the ways, the demons that we stand up to, addictions, it's so many. But when we learn that, but it's as we come more into the knowing that everything has happened for our greatest good, it's because it's a lesson. And the more that we find the lessons that we learned, the more that we integrate what we've already learned, it's like it's the stronger we stand in our stance. It's the stronger that we stand in our own power, our own knowing, our own divinity. But it's also taking back everything that's been taken away from us. Everything that's been denied to us, systematically denied to us, our birthrights, our spiritual birthrights that have been denied to us since birth. What's interesting about that too is that in the same sense though, we're responsible. It's we're responsible for when we knew better. When we came to the conscious awareness that societal beliefs don't sit right with me. The beliefs of the family doesn't sit right with me. But do we shut up and do we just go along with it? Most of the time we do. Most of the time we never go back and we never correct that. But it's a lot of the false programming that's instilled to us as children, and then it's reinforced by everything and everyone in our life, moving forward. And so the longer we go without picking up our sword and fighting those battles, the harder it gets, and it gets overwhelming to the point where sometimes we don't even remember that it was a battle, that we were still fighting. Sometimes we don't even know if our weapons are going to work, but it can be overwhelming. But it's, what image I'm getting is we just need to try. What I'm seeing is like an old rusted sword, but after the first hit, what's removed is all the old rust, and what's remaining is still the sword, but the parts that are still good. It's still a sword. Is it as big as it once was? Is it as shiny as? No, but gets the motherfucking job done. And that's all that matters. I'm gonna end that read right there. That's for somebody. That's for a starseed. That's for somebody. Have a great day, guys.